Hello friends, in this video I'd like to solve the following problem from the Canadian Mathematical Olympiad 1994. Problem number 1. We wish to evaluate the following sum. K goes from 1 to 1994 of minus 1 to the kth power times k squared plus k plus 1 over k factorial. So my hints for this problem. First of all, this trig may be useful, writing k squared as k times k minus 1 plus k. Then you can try to split the sum into 3 separate sums, and then you can try to combine them again into one sum by changing the index of summation. And also, look out, maybe some telescoping is going on. So I'll give this problem a try and I will see you in a minute. Okay, so I hope that you've tried to solve it. My solution will go like that. I will take my sum, which goes from 1 to 1994, and instead of k squared, I will write k times k minus 1. And let's see, I have minus k right now, and I have to get 2k plus k, so I have to add plus 2k plus 1 over k factorial. And now let's split our sum into 3 different sums. First will be minus 1 to the power of k times k minus 1 over k factorial. The second will be k goes from 1 to 1994, 2 times minus 1 to the power of k times k over k factorial. And the last sum is just minus 1 to the power of k over k factorial. Very well. And now let's do the following. First of all, notice that the first sum, it goes from 1, but for k equals 1, this parenthesis is 0. So instead of summing from 1, we can instead start summation from 2. And we will get. And also, let's notice that we can simplify k times k minus 1 with k factorial, and we will get k minus 2 factorial in the denominator. Then we can put 2 in front of our second sum. It goes from 1 to 1994. K over k factorial is 1 over k minus 1 factorial. And finally, the last sum goes from 1 to 1994 minus 1 to the power of k over k factorial. Okay, very nice. And now, what will I do? I will change the index of summation. So instead of k, every occurrence of k, because maybe I will write it in a more suggestive way. This sum goes from k equals 1 to k equals this number. This sum goes from k equals 1 to k equals this number. And this goes to that. And now, instead of k, in every place, I will put k plus 2. And I will have minus 1 to the power k plus 2 over k factorial. Because k plus 2 minus 2 is just k. I will do the same for the second sum, but instead of k, I will put k plus 1. I will put k plus 1. Okay. And the last sum can stay the same, but for completeness, I will also write k in red. Okay, very nice. And now let's see what's happening. We now have the same denominators. Our first sum, k, goes from 0 to 1992 right now. Also, let's notice that minus 1 to the power k plus 2 is exactly the same as minus 1 to the power of k. The second sum, minus 1 to the power k plus 1, we can put minus before our sum. And we have sum which goes from 0 to 1993 of minus 1 to the power of k over k factorial. And finally, well, the last sum will stay the same. Nothing special right here. Okay, very, very nice. And now let's notice that we have exactly the same summands in these three places. But the boundaries of summation are different for each of these sum. So my idea is I will split every sum to include only k from 1 to 1992. So from the first sum, I will consider separately the 0th term. I will have plus sum from 1 to 1992. For the second sum, I will put the 0th term separately. And also I will put the last term separately. And the rest will be the sum from 1 to 1992. Let's color code this. So this sum is this. This is exactly this part. And finally, the final part, namely this part, I will write it below. So I will take separately the last two terms. Plus sum which goes from 1 to 1992 minus 1 to the power of k over k factorial. So that is the last part. Okay, and now let's simplify what we can. First of all, minus 1 to the power of 0 over 0 factorial is just 1. And let's also notice something very important. Here we have our sum. Here we have the exactly the same sum. And here we have minus twice the same sum. Vanishes, gone. And we are left with 1 minus 1 to the 0th power over 0 factorial is minus 2. Then we have 2 times minus 1 to the power 1993. It will become 2 over 1993 factorial. Then we have minus 1 over 1993 factorial. And finally, we have plus 1 over 1994 factorial. Because our sums have vanished. Okay, and we are left with minus 1 plus 1 over 1993 factorial plus 1 over 1994 factorial. And after the last simplification, it becomes, because we can multiply here by 1994, and we will get plus 1995 over 1994 factorial. And this is exactly our answer. So we sum from k equals 1 to 1994 of minus 1 to the power of k squared plus k plus 1 over k factorial equals minus 1 plus 1995 over 1994 factorial. And that is exactly our answer. Okay, so I hope that you've learned something new, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.